Good morning. Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm inviting you so that we can talk about promises, especially those broken promises, promises that are not kept, and more so while you are a victor but not as a perpetrator. And to provide you with a foundation, a good foundation of this video, let me just take you through the first stanza of a song by Samido called Liale Idero. Liale idero shiro, liale idero he. Neolea mondo alota keiro tokiolu. No kionda lote teto hikanetie. Nondinge hota samindiri onake. Yes, that is Sami, who is the persona of this song, telling a lady he was trying to woo, but of course with a lot of jokes, with a lot of msaha, that after all he was not serious to commit himself to the life of marriage with her. A very bad style, very bad thing to do. But that's not all. People are fond of giving promises. Perhaps you might also have been a victim of different promises. Let me just give you a few of these examples. One of the examples I've just talked about in that song, where you are a man, you promise a lady to marry her, but you are not ready to commit. That's a promise, don't keep it. You are ready, you promise to accept a man as your husband, but you know deep within yourself you are not ready. That's a promise not kept. Or you also have something you call, you borrow money. Nikopeshe 2K, nitarifad next week Tuesday. Loan me 2,000 shillings, I'll refund next week. You know very well that week you won't have the money. You know very well you won't even communicate. But despite that, you are going ahead to make the promise. Another promise that is very common, you call someone, and then that someone tells you, kata simu kwa sababu niko kwa mkutano, nitakupigia baadaye. Cut the phone, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you later. Then you wait and wait and wait. Then a later or an evening becomes a week, 2 weeks, a month, no phone. It remains still a promise. There are so many types of promises. You see, some promises, while they are unkept, can be disastrous. Some promises, when if you don't keep them, okay, they still have some consequences, but not as grave as the consequences, especially of something to do with something like marriage and such stuff. So what should you do? Before we talk about what you are supposed to do, especially if you are a victim, let me address the perpetrator. Those people who give these promises with an intention of breaking them. One thing is that you do, if you are one of them or if you know such people, is that that's not good. It's always wise to promise something that you know you are going to fulfill. Yeah, don't pray aloud with the feelings of other people. It's not good. It's absolutely not good. And if you do that, you are going against the teachings of Robert Heshura, who talks so much about humanity in this book. He talks about so many things, and one of them is that you are supposed to win some victory for humanity. by playing your part and playing it well. I invite you also to read this book. It's a very nice book. A very, very nice book. Okay, that aside. So what are you supposed to do if you discover that you are a victim? You are a victim of these promises. Point number one before we proceed is that you are supposed to know that you cannot be able to change people. If someone is a liar, someone has a tendency of lying, because if you don't keep a promise, if you give a promise and you don't keep it, you don't implement, you don't execute that promise, then it becomes a lie and you become a liar. Liars are there and we cannot change them, because if it's their nature to tell lies, then that's it. The only thing that we can do is to influence them by our good lives. We can influence them by our good lives. So what are you supposed to do as a victim of these people who give empty promises and then they hurt our hearts, they injure our feelings? What are you supposed to do? I'm going to give you these two solutions. One, if already you find yourself, you have fallen into the trap, or how to mitigate, just to make sure that in future you don't become a victim. Let's start by imagining that maybe you are vulnerable, but you have not fallen into the trap of these people. Just one solution, and I'm going to explain it briefly. And this is what you are supposed to know, that never at any given time, never believe the promises that people give 100%. Never at any given time believe fully the promises that people give. Yes. Leave some allowance. Leave some allowance. Unless the person giving the promise has committed himself or herself in some way. Like if you're talking of lending some money, have they signed somewhere, a document somewhere? And in most cases, this doesn't happen, because in most cases, these people are our friends, they are our relatives, they are people we work together with. And there is that aspect of trust. We trust each other. So there's no need of subjecting you to a bank process where you have to sign so many documents so that I can lend you some money. You just believe and hope that you are going to do exactly what you have told me to do, only that it turns out that it doesn't happen. So for this, please always make sure that you leave some allowance before you believe 100% what someone is promising you. And in case you find yourself that you are already a victim, you are already fallen into their traps, then this is what you do. Relax. Relax. You are not the first one. You are not the only one. Ahead of you, people have been lied to. Even right now, as we talk, some people are getting lies too. Even tomorrow and days to come, you still have some people. So you are not the only one. So relax. Take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Yes, relax. Then make sure that you do not react immediately. Give yourself some time. And don't react with anger. Because when you react with anger, you might make the situation even more worse. Delay some days, maybe even a week, until you come up with a good response, a light of reply, whereby now you can get hold of them to account for their words and their promises. After you have identified a good method to reach out to them. Above all, make sure you run a lesson. Make sure you run a lesson. You can be tricked one time, but if you are tricked by the same person in the same way, in the same manner the second time, then it means you did not do your homework where the first time you found yourself in the trap. Always learn a lesson. Document them so that you can also share them with future generation. Always learn a lesson from all these circumstances. Thank you. And if this is your first time looking and watching this video, this channel, this is Samuel Waragu Speeches. Welcome and thank you so much.